Now, great to welcome to the show a genuine Sevens superstar. She is in Cape Town this week for the Cape Town series, where Amee-Leigh Murphy Crowe will hit 50 caps for Ireland Sevens. It's one cap per series. She's played well over 100 games, has scored over 100 tries, and she's been a phenomenon really since she came on the scene since 2014 in the 2019 and 2022 World Rugby Sevens Dream Team of the Year. First woman not from New Zealand or Australia to be top try scorer across a season, and is Rugby Players Ireland Sevens Player of the Year 2016, 2017, 2019, 2022. And she's on the line from Cape Town. Amee-Leigh, great to have you on.
Hey, thank you. How are you?
Good. What more can I do for your ego than that introduction there?
Yeah, I was kind of cringing there, to be honest. I'd prefer not to hear the intro.
Congratulations, 50 caps. So 50 series across the last 8 years, and that includes a COVID-interrupted period as well. I guess when you started 8 years ago, having not played rugby all that long, you have exceeded expectations, I would think. I don't know what you were expecting back in 2014.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 50 tournaments actually across the World Series and European legs. So it's not as much on the series, but it's a huge honour to be able to hopefully head out there this weekend and get my 50th cap with such an amazing group of girls, and to be part of such an amazing group that'll support me all the way is just an honour.
What were your expectations when you started in 14?
To learn how to play rugby at the start, to learn how to pass, I suppose, because I come from athletics and not really knowing how to pass the ball. That was one of the big things, but I've always dreamt of being an Olympian. So at the time, I didn't know sevens rugby would maybe be a pathway that could take me to the Olympics. So I just said, look, I'll just join rugby and let's see how that goes. At that time, I didn't even dream of playing for Ireland. I just enjoyed playing with my friends back at home in Clanwilliam, heading to training, playing games at the weekend, and then it really just snowballed from there, to be honest. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey, an amazing career. And yeah, I hope there is many more great days as I've experienced gone by.
You mentioned there your athletics interest. So as I understand it, the 100 metres was one of your events, not surprisingly, the long jump, and that was with Tipperary Town Athletics Club. And it was around under 16 territory where you went up to Clanwilliam Rugby Club. So aside from Alan Quinlan being your hero, why did rugby and under 16, he told me to say that, why did
I'd say you did.
why did rugby and Clanwilliam call out to you at your mid-teens, when I'm sure you were going very well in athletics?
Yeah, my boyfriend played for Clanwilliam, so he was like, "Oh, you should definitely give it a go." And then a few friends in school were playing it,
right?
So I was like, "Oh, I'll just have a go." Like I always just enjoyed being around my friends and just having fun. And then I absolutely loved sport growing up, so that was an even better way of spending time with my friends and playing sport. So that's how I kind of got into it.
Okay, and so, when you say you had to learn how to pass the ball, I guess you're half exaggerating. Like, by the time you were making a go of it with sevens in 2014, where was your skill set from the few years at Clanwilliam?
Yeah, I had grown, to be honest. I spent a year in LIT with Joy Neville being the director of rugby down there, and she brought me into that. They had an academy at the time, so there's only a certain amount of players that were in the academy. And you got like extra skill sessions in the morning, extra fitness, extra gym. And to be fair to her, she really, really helped me with just the basic skills of the game. She had me up there passing the ball, teaching me tackle techs, stuff like that, that I remember to this day as being such a valuable lesson for myself.
Mm. So was there a degree of like your Forrest Gump when you first start playing? We're going to give you the ball, yeah, and you just run, and we'll tell you when to stop running.
Yeah, especially when I played in college, because like the level wasn't as high as maybe provincial or anything, and they like Joy would just literally be like to the girls, like, just get the ball to Lee, and then she'd be like, Lee, like, run. There was an element of that, but like I know I knew at the time, like, I could be tackled. So, like, to be able to evade or to break a tackle was something that I would have to do and be good at. And that, like, has continued into my game as I grow as a player.
So the sevens thing has gone extremely well. And then you linked up with the 15 setup for Six Nations for Ireland 2021. And you were very much part of Greg McWilliams' camp for the Six Nations this year. So sevens has its own complexities, and then, and please correct me if I'm wrong, as I understand it, 15s is more complex again in terms of tactics and getting a feel for the game, and so that's a whole other level for you to get to grips with at international level, I would presume.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously I started out playing 15s, and I played interprovincial with Munster for a season, so I had some idea of the game. But when I left then and I played sevens for the bones of 7-8 years, I'd only played one 15s game within that period.
Right.
So heading back to 15s and at an international level, it was a huge challenge for me. But as a player, I love a good challenge, and I love to be pushed outside my comfort zone and having to basically learn the game again, because it had been so long. I really enjoyed that challenge, although it was tough and I got things wrong, but equally I saw the reward when I did get things right, and the team around me were so helpful and really encouraged me to just be myself and have a go. So that really did help.
And there must be so many aspects, even decision making in defence now for a wing is full of potential mistakes, and stepping up or stepping off and stepping inside or staying outside. So there's no shortcut there, is there? Are you doing lots of video work, or is it just trial and error in training? What's been the best way to get up to speed?
Yeah, like back when I was in 15s camp, like I'm not in 15s camp at the moment. So I'm solely sevens at the moment. So like my focus is the sevens game. But when I am in 15s, like the coaches are there to help you at any time. Like even with Baven, I'd chat to her and stuff, and just to get her knowledge on it. And all the other girls around me are very good. But like you said, like it is a fine line around decisions, and especially in defense with wingers. But I think in sevens that helps you use that, because it's actually quite a fine line at being a wing in sevens as well, because you have so much space that you have to defend. And although the touchline is your best friend in both sevens and 15s, it's just making sure that you make the right decision and put yourself in the best position to make the tackle.
Because I guess in attack you're feeling that bit more comfortable, and we saw you doing brilliant things with ball in hand. And I was at the Wales game at the RDS on that sunny evening, and a brilliant crowd and a Six Nations game. That's, I mean, and we'll talk about the professional contracts which have come now, but maybe over the last year or so, we're starting to see a glimpse where the Six Nations could get to, because that evening in Dublin, like I looked around and I thought, wow, this could really go somewhere quite quickly. This is really enjoyable for sports fans to come and see.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for us, we like went to Musgrave Park, and that's like a game that I'll forever remember because of the atmosphere down there, and the amount of young boys and girls out there watching it. It was so encouraging, and it almost inspired me to just be a better player, so that those young boys and girls could see more of us and see the better sides of us and see us performing at a high level.
Yes. So that campaign, you said you're obviously sevens at the moment, and Six Nations just gone. You played the initial couple of games, and then the sevens players had to depart for a tournament. So that is a very tricky balancing act for all concerned, and just at a glance it would strike all of us as very disruptive and not something that tallies with perfect high performance. So ideally the calendar would be coordinated and you could do a full Six Nations campaign. I don't think that's in the offing anytime soon. Where do you think that dilemma is headed? Are we just going to have to get players to pick 15s or pick sevens and that's it, or are we going to have different players in and out for Six Nations upcoming? What's your sense on the best way to approach that, Amee-Leigh?
For me personally, I think it's up to the coaches like Greg and Aidan, and then obviously Gillian, now the new director of women's rugby, to see what's best for the team at the time, what their priority is for those players that are within the team, or whether it's 15s or sevens. And to be honest, I prefer if those things are taken out of my hand and control, because I am not professional in that sort of way. That I'm not like the expert in that way, I meant to say. They're the coaches. They know what's best for me. They know what's best for the team at the time. And if they tell me you're focused now because this year is a huge year for Olympic qualification, that you're going to be with the sevens, then that's no problem to me. I don't see an issue with the crossovers, to be honest. Even having been part of 2 seasons with crossovers, the team are completely inclusive and welcoming and so friendly when we do come in, and when we're leaving, it's still like so supportive of the sevens girls that are leaving. And you know, the girls that are there, they're well able and well capable to step up and take that jersey that is there for the taking. So yeah, I think it just helps grows the game within the country, is trying to get a good mix of both to be played at such a high level and really good performances within.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying, that you almost don't want the choice yourself, take it out of my hands, because I would presume it could become quite stressful, in that you don't want to feel that you're making the choice and you have to let one group down or the other. There's almost no winning that dilemma for you personally.
No, but like I said, like I do trust Aidan and Greg, and especially Gillian now, the director. I just trust and have so much faith in them that they'll do the right thing. And I think that's all that matters to me, because so long as my heart is happy in what they've decided for me, then I'm a happy player.
It's been a tumultuous 12 months for Irish women's rugby. There was the letter signed by some current players and some former players, and reviews have happened and contracts have been handed out. Have you noticed improvements in the last 12 months? And if so, what jumps out to you?
Yeah, I've definitely seen improvements in the 15s game. Obviously, we all know, whoever signed the new women's rugby contracts, it just shows how the game in Ireland is moving forward. In sevens, we've always had a full-time coaching staff, amazing facilities, great support from the IRFU. So it's great to see that the IRFU are supporting the 15s side of the game as well, and putting in those full-time resources for them. And just seeing the girls even out in HPC, it's great to see them, just have them about. I was saying more females out there in HPC is great.
Are they training most days, full-time schedule?
Yeah, they'll have a similar schedule to us, but they also play club, so it's just a bit mixed for them.
I guess the other point then is like the 15s game is really blossoming, and we're seeing professionalism almost happen overnight. New Zealand at the start of this year, and Wales, and now Ireland have come on board, and the World Cup was a big event. Sevens for you, it's probably gone under the radar slightly, but the team have had a brilliant year. 2 podium finishes. There was a silver in Seville and a third in Canada. So even though the sevens maybe hasn't captured the imagination the way a Six Nations 15s match might, sevens in Ireland is still really on a good path.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of our goals is to put Irish sevens on the map, and by doing that, we'll be able to grow just even the game of rugby in the country. And that's just what we want to do, is just to get more boys and girls out there playing. And if we're their inspiration, then that's a really big box ticked for us. But like you said, like obviously the sevens game isn't as popular at home. But if we were able to perform, and hopefully this year we qualify for for the Olympics for Paris 2024, then that will even put us on the map even more, especially in Ireland, and we'll get the more recognition around the game and stuff.
Yeah, and what do you put this season's very good performances down to?
Just sticking to the processes that we need to get a good performance out of it. But obviously this year with Olympic qualification, it'll be top 4 on the series is the fastest route to get to it. So that will be definitely a big goal on our goals sheet this season.
Okay, well, listen, we'll let you go because obviously you got a busy weekend ahead in Cape Town. Very best of luck with it. I should mention as well that Amee-Leigh was talking to us with thanks to Triton Lake, proud title sponsor of the Irish Rugby Sevens team, and they've launched season 2 of the podcast Triton Lake Perform, and they have Jordan Murphy as their first guest of the new season. And if you want to listen to that, then you can check out Triton Lake across Twitter, Instagram, or you can visit tritonlake.com/perform. Amee-Leigh Murphy Crowe, sorry to embarrass you with all your many achievements in the intro. Keep it going, and congrats on a great year. Best of luck over the weekend. Thanks, Emil.
Thank you. Bye.